This is with the homie NBL, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, whenever NBL is on the beat, it's gonna be fire.
Yes, sir.
And whenever it sounds very beachy, Aziz is gonna be on fire.
Yes, sir.
So we look forward to that. Nabil, drop that.
Of course, my name is Nabil. I'm a music producer. I'm 20 years old. I do a little bit of creative direction. I do lots of music production. I've been producing for around 7-8 years now. I've worked with a bunch of people all over the Middle East, all the way to the US, to Africa, to Europe, and honored to be here. It was one of the most difficult records I've been finding to sound. Lots of work, a lot of work. Currently, at the moment, I'm focusing more on commercial music. So I'm working with Amazon, I'm working with Middle Beast, I'm working with a00327, Ministry of Culture of Saudi, kind of to specify more into commercial music and trying to kind of educate myself on a more cultural sound and a cultural audience to be able to integrate it into my music personally. Music is, I've always loved music. I grew up on it. I had a lot of hip hop influence all the way back from Blueprint, Jay-Z, to Born Sinner from J. Cole, to Kanye's come up. I've always loved music. I've always loved it. I taught myself the piano at around 9-10 years old, and I was always composed since then. I don't know how to read notes. I don't know music theory. I don't know any of that. I kind of like sitting in front of a piano and just pressing buttons till something works. That's the kind of approach that I like to take. I'm not big on, you got to learn this song, you got to perfect this song to be able to say that you play the piano. But no, create something out of nothing. That's what I love about music. There's so many areas, there's so much that you can do that's still untapped, even with everything that's been going on, everything that's been, like, funny story is, when I watched the Kanye documentary on Netflix, I remember watching it, so many people felt so motivated and so like, come on, let's get the hustle, let's do it. I felt like he's already done everything, it's hard to compete with that. But still, there's so much to do, and especially in the region, there's so much beautiful talent in the region. There's so much, and finally, we're starting to build an environment. An environment where I can compete with Entitled, or I can compete with Saud for best producer, best rapper, best all of that. And it's such a tough competition, but it's healthy competition. That's what I love about music. There's so many areas to it that even after everything that I've done, I still have unlocked 10% of it,
Sure.
So yeah. Alexa is funny and witty and knowledgeable, and that's what we wanted to show, you know, while still keeping it hyper local. You know, like we wanted to bring a little bit of us into Alexa. It's a really cool thing to be able to do this, you know, and to be able to be a part of the Alexa team. Do it. There's no loss in it, you know. And in our culture, there's this mentality that one, the arts don't pay your bills. You know, that was global, but now is even bigger here because of this new opening. Do it. If it pays your bills, if it doesn't, like I spent 8 years sharing my music with my friends. You know, it was like my audience was 10 people. Genuinely, it was 10 people. You know, and I loved that. I was doing something that I like. And genuinely, out of nowhere, it was so unexpected, I started meeting people. I started meeting industry legends, you know, and they were teaching me things and telling me, and now I've grown my audience exponentially, you know, and I'm thankful for that, but it's just because I did it. You know, I did it. I started somewhere. I started learning. And if you listen to my work 6-7 years ago, oh my, I've made you delete all of that off the face of the earth. But there's growth. There's always growth. I still have growth. Everyone still has growth. You know, so do it. Why not jump into it? Right? You might not know where it leads.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
you know, whenever it sounds very beachy, you know Aziz is going to be on fire.
Yes, sir.
So we look forward to that. Nabil, drop that shit.
We're growing so much, but also, so one big struggle, so music, for example, being talented is only 50% of it. Talent is 50% of being a successful producer, singer, rapper, anything. The other 50% is learning the business behind it. You know, there is so much business behind it. And the key thing that you need to learn is to find out how money moves in this industry. And I'm telling you, this is the most difficult industry to have see money moving. You know, most people are taking the social media approach, you know, I gotta become a TikTok influencer, I gotta become an Instagram influencer, and that's how I can see money coming towards my music. And they turn themselves into a brand. I'm not saying that's wrong. It is right, and it is the path that, to be honest, I should be taking. But the traditional route still works. You know, learn the business. There's so much money moving in music currently, especially in countries like Saudi. The UAE have been dominating that for the past 10 years, but Saudi's coming up now, you know, and there's so much money moving. And if you just learn, if you see where this money is going, how you can capitalize that, how you can supply and create more demand, then you're good. That's all you need to do. It's business before music. But yeah. So here, for example, as a musician, let's say in the Middle East, you're competing with, let's say, as a producer, you're competing with around 1,000 producers, you know? And most of the people here are doing it as a hobby. Going to Toronto and getting into the music scene, and there are two sides of this industry. There is a side where there are these musicians that are highly talented, that are competing with millions of musicians, and they need to choose every week whether to starve themselves, genuinely buy groceries and food, or book a studio session. And they can't make it without booking the studio session. It is their main source of income, and they're working 2 jobs, staying up till sleep, getting 2 hours of sleep every day just to be able to work on some music, but provide for themselves. Some of them even have families, some of them even have kids, you know? This is one side of the music scene, but then there's the other side. I was blessed and privileged to meet up with Majid Masqati in Toronto, and he just showed me another side where it's this circle. You know, it's the circle that is so difficult to get into unless you have the cosign, you know? But I guess that's just how the industry is. You know, even when I was in LA, you go to these events, you go to these things where you're genuinely privileged to be there when you know that there is a producer sitting outside trying to get in that's 20 times better. And I'm telling you, I've met some people that are 1,000 times better. They are amazing, you know? And some of them don't even know it yet. Some of them have this potential, some of them have this drive, this hunger. They don't know it yet, you know? So it's difficult to see things like that. But then it's kind of your job, you know? It's kind of your job, your duty to try and bring in everyone that you see. If you spot talent, if you see someone, invest in them. You know, invest in people. Don't invest in something that gets you back money. Invest in people because that's the biggest investment. An example of that would be how Swiss Beats invested in Music Man Tai. Music Man Tai was his driver. Imagine, he'd get in the car and just tell him, play me some beats. You know, and Swizz would invest in him. Tell him, no, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad. You got one there. And now look at him. He's an Emmy-winning producer. He's doing crazy things. Invest in people. You know, yes, money's important. Get your money, buy it for yourself, buy a Lambo, do whatever you want, but invest in people. Invest in people because you don't know how far it takes them. You know, I've met so many amazing artists here in the region. I feel like I should constantly tell them, keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. You'll get your break. You'll get your chance. You'll get all of that because it's worth it. It's definitely worth it. But yeah.
Nabil is a really good friend of mine. I've met him, let's say, 3-4 months ago. We hitched it off. We became really close friends. It fascinates me how this guy really thinks. It's been tough in a sense towards him, of course, with everything that's happening. But he's growing slowly. He's reaching points in his life where he's trying to continue and grow as much as he can. As he said in his story, he was in the US and he's seen how life is and difference in both producers, artists, everything, and both people that are growing in a sense of the people that have the right people, and then the people that are already grown but they don't have connections. So these are the try-hard people that will put as much time, money and effort into creating something unique, but at the same time, at times it doesn't work out, and sadly this is the truth of life. It's really hard, it's really difficult. As for Nabil is someone that I'm really grateful to get to know. In a sense, the way of his artistic mind, I would say, takes a grasp of what he's trying to do. He's trying to mix both hip-hop and the Khaliji version and creating something unique towards his fun at the end of the day. Something that he's in love with. And his points are true at the end of the day, is to do something that you're really grateful, you're really happy to doing it and to creating it at the end of the day. But in the sense of, how can this help me in my future? He used to be a computer science student in Canada, as we know. And he shifted to BUB over here, studying business and management, if I'm not mistaken. But overall, this is Nabil towards me. This is the idea of who Nabil is. And I'm really proud to know this person, especially, with everything he's doing, is still a down-to-earth person. And he would do whatever it is to keep you by his side, as long as you know that you're a genuinely good person.
I've known Nabil for around 9 months probably. I interviewed him once for my podcast, and he's a really hardworking person, and it's really obvious that he's going places. He's a very talented person. His music is absolutely stunning. He's really changing the hip hop industry here in Bahrain, and not just in Bahrain, but in the GCC as a whole. Like even though he has reached those levels where a celebrity is, but he's still Nabil. He's still a humble man, and